being very open-minded when you start your career.
Yeah,
So it's kind of ironic to me that people are so like dogmatic, like this is what I do. It's like you're starting your career. What do you mean what you
yeah,
do? Like being open-minded to new opportunities. This is
yeah,
honestly the hardest thing moving from school to the real world. In the real world, you have to be ready for anything. It's just like with entrepreneurship, it's not like,
mm,
oh, you're the strategy person. It's like, no, you're the janitor, you're the HR, you're the CFO, the CEO, you're everything. You wear all these different hats. But if you don't expose yourself when you start your career, you just don't know. And especially at the very beginning, you want to be the person that's like the go-to. It's like, we need something to get done. Who are we going to call? Oh, Ken. Ken will do it. And the problem is, like, this is not the time when you start your career. This is not the time for work-life balance. When are you going to work the hardest? At the beginning of your career or the end of your career? Or better yet, when do you want to work your hardest? When you're, ready to retire? No, you want to be in chill mode at that point. So taking on as much as possible when you start out is so important. And being open-minded, that is absolutely critical for your ultimate success. Because if you're closed minded, you're like, well, I don't know how to do that. I only do this. It's like, how do you learn? So I
yeah,
would look at the beginning of your career as like a totally blank canvas. It's
yeah,
really fascinating when you actually see how many people start in a certain area, maybe like operations or accounting or something like that. And now they're like, I'm a hedge fund manager or I run a private equity firm. And it's like, what does operations have to do with that? And it's like, nothing. So it's like, you never know when you start out, when these things are going to become helpful for you later on. But also along the way, you're just going to realize, wow, this really clicks with me. This is what gets me all jacked up and on fire and passionate. And the only way to figure that out is by actually exposing yourself to a bunch of different things. Here's the thing.
mm,
In investment banking, all I dealt with was like super type A personalities that people were like total jerks. And I kind of looked at it like this. Am I trying to get friends or am I trying to build a career and get experience? And it's like, I'm trying to build a career and get experience. So in that regard, when you really think about it, it's like, what's more important? Having this like amazing group of people that you're working with, yes, that would be ideal, or getting a phenomenal learning experience. Along the way, you're going to pick up mentors, you're going to pick up people that'll help you and people that'll guide you. I think a mentor is going to be a heck of a lot important than like a friend, like a new friend. So if you told me like, hey, I'm going to get exposure to all this groundbreaking AI stuff that we're, implementing for finance for our clients, I would say that's freaking awesome. But you're like, yeah, but all the people that know about it, they don't really have good personalities. It's like, okay, who cares? They don't even need to have personalities because think about what you're learning. So I think that's really the key. And it's a matter of balance. I'm not talking about like you're in the salt mine and you're slaving away at work and you're like, this stinks. It's like, obviously you have to have some sort of joy with the work that you're doing and see kind of the end game with it. And it always gets twisted, right? So like Warren Buffett says, work a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Here's the reality. There's no job that you're going to love like every waking moment of every day. But I think when you think about the impact that you have and who you're helping and what you're doing and how you're making people's lives better, that's the type of stuff that I always thought about when I was working in investment banking. It's like, what is this going to do? The thing that I'm working on, even though it's 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, how is this going to actually impact the company for the better? So it's like, be very cordial, be nice to everyone. Golden rule, treat everybody how you want to be treated. That's the best way to go about it. I hate to break it to everybody. 90% of what you need to know, you're going to learn on the job. So it's like, okay, they don't know the 10% that they need to do to get through the interviews. Like, I can teach you that. The 90% on the job, that requires you to be on the job. So you want to be like good enough to convince everybody like, hey, I've got what it takes. I'm capable of learning. I'm passionate. I'm positive, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you really think about it, it isn't inconceivable that someone could be from HR and go to investment banking. It's not inconceivable because when you actually realize what's required, the training, 90% is on the job. So as long as they have the mindset, they're willing to work hard, they're willing to put in the hours, team player, all of that stuff, positive attitude, they're good. They're rocking. It's actually much easier. The bank's like, geez, we would normally have to spend $50,000 of training to get this person. The money's already been spent by HR. Perfect. It's just a matter of like optimizing and refining everything. So it's like when you work for a great company, you have a great internship, you do a great job, you have a positive attitude, and then you get the offer. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like. You want to be in a position where like we're having a conversation and it's like, well, everybody wants me. It's like, yes, that's what we want. I want to have that conversation rather than there's only one place that wants me and then I don't really like that one. So do an awesome job. Be you because you're a rock star. So just be the best version of yourself, positive mental attitude, but you really want to focus on the long game. And even like the worst day ever, it's like there's a new day, right? Like there's always darkness before the dawn. Tomorrow's a new day. Just take that mindset and just always take some time to like step back, decompress, and put things into perspective. You know, if you have a bad day or a bad week or disagreement or whatever, always say to yourself, is this going to matter? Like, is this going to matter tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 10 years from now? And usually like, it's not even going to matter the next day. So try not to like stress and just really look at this as such a beautiful and amazing opportunity. You're starting your career at an amazing financial institution. People would kill to be in the position that you're in. So just take advantage of it and recognize like how incredible of a blessing it is and just like totally take advantage of the amazing opportunity that you have in front of you.